This is insane. The Red War campaign is likely to never come back because Bungie themselves can't even access the files. How crazy is that? We will never see one of the greatest campaigns that was ever in Destiny 2 because Bungie's engine has changed so much that they can't even access it themselves. Like, that's sad. That's frustrating. We're going to jump into this article right here and talk a little bit about it. The title is Bungie explains why there's no feasible way to access Destiny 2's vaulted Red War campaign, even internally in new court filings. Bungie says Destiny 2's vaulted Red War campaign can't be accessed even internally, making a return unlikely. Bungie has made it clear in new court filings that the original Destiny 2 Red War campaign isn't just gone for players. It apparently no longer exists in a playable form within the studio itself. The company says the game's original story mode, which was removed in 2020, is now completely inaccessible. This came to light as part of an ongoing copyright issue filed by Bungie by writer Matthew Kelsey Martineau, who claims that Bungie copied elements of his unpublished works to create the Red War storyline. If you don't know what they're talking about, is that this guy, Matthew Kelsey Martineau, created an entire elaborate story. It's like a book, I believe he wrote, and it details very closely what the Red War campaign is in Destiny 2. There's different names for different characters, things of that, but it does have some clear inspiration. Bungie clearly took inspiration from his story to create the Red War campaign, in most people's opinion. However, is that plagiarism? They deserve to be sued for it, and will he win his lawsuit? Who knows? But apparently, in the process, they had to probably subpoena the actual files, and Bungie themselves doesn't even have access to them, which is pretty crazy. So let's see what happens here. Martineau alleges that Bungie lifted key ideas, characters, and themes from his work, including a faction called the Red Legion, and a plot that involves an exiled warrior trying to take control of a powerful celestial object orbiting Earth. Right? Bungie has denied these claims, calling them baseless and asking the court to dismiss the case. But as part of its defense, Bungie also dropped a detail that Destiny 2 fans may find disappointing. It says the Red War campaign no longer exists in any playable form, even within the studio itself, which is why the developer used third-party community-created content as evidence in its court filing. And this has been a big controversial issue for a long time. You've probably heard people talk about the Red War campaign. If you're a newer player, or if you have been around for a while, you might understand that we paid for this campaign and then it was taken away from us with sunsetting, right? That launched with Beyond Light. And it was in 2020 with Beyond Light that we had sunsetting, and we lost this campaign. And a lot of people wanted it back, but now we know that not only will we never get it back, it's not even possible. Even if Bungie wanted to bring it back, it's not possible. Bungie's motion does not involve a direct comparison between Martineau's work and the infringing Destiny 2 work. Martineau's response reads, "Instead, Bungie's motion is based on a comparison between Martineau's work and fan-made derivative works created by third parties, not the actual Destiny 2 game." Destiny 2's Red War campaign is probably not returning anytime soon. In a new filing submitted this week on Tuesday, February 24th, 2025, Bungie responded to Martineau's arguments and made a statement about Destiny 2's content vaulting. Bungie's head of engineering, David Aldridge, stated under oath that the original Red War campaign was removed from the game in 2020 and that it is now impossible to access in any playable form. Interesting. Conspiracy theorists will say they tried to get rid of the evidence, right? According to Aldridge, Bungie did archive the original game code. The rapid evolution of Destiny 2's underlying technology means that the Red War campaign is completely incompatible with the game's current operational framework. Even if Bungie wanted to bring it back, it would probably have to be rebuilt from scratch rather than simply reactivated. Wow, that's tough. It's tough news for us Destiny players today. In November 2020, the original Red War campaign was retired from Destiny 2, such that it was and remains no longer accessible, Aldridge explained in the filing. Before this suit, Bungie archived the original code that compromised the Red War campaign, known as the Legacy build. However, the Red War Legacy build can no longer run because its outdated code is incompatible with Destiny 2's evolved underlying operational framework, which has evolved considerably since the Red War campaign was retired. As a result, Bungie cannot feasibly provide the court with the original Destiny 2 game as it existed in 2017, including the accused Red War campaign, in any operable or reviewable form. nor will Bungie be able to produce the original accused campaign in operable or reviewable form should this matter proceed to formal discovery. Wow, that is really interesting, because usually what you have is the evidence is compared back and forth. So basically Bungie is saying all the evidence for this is like gone or tampered with. I feel like at the very least we could just have the transcript for the campaign, right? Just the entire transcript. There's obviously a period of time where you have discovery in these court hearings, and you're not allowed to like delete any evidence or delete anything of that nature, and it can be used against you. And this, not that Bungie did this intentionally, but this could actually work against them in the court proceeding, because they're unable to bring forth the evidence necessary to prove that they didn't plagiarize his work. And so as much as I think that this guy is totally crazy for actually trying to push this lawsuit forward, this Martineau guy, I think that this might actually help his case, unfortunately, right? This statement also applies to all other vaulted content before Beyond Light, meaning fan favorite activities like the Leviathan raid and old strikes likely suffer the same. Oh no. No, you did not, Bungie. You just said the Leviathan can never come back? No. That hurts. Bungie has consistently said that bringing back vaulted content would be difficult. For a long-time Destiny 2 fans, this is probably disappointing. This is not disappointing news. This is disastrous news. This is a dark day. We will remember this day, February 25th, 2025, 2/25/25, one of the darkest days in Destiny history. All of your sunset content is gone forever. It ain't coming back. Over the years, players have repeatedly asked Bungie to unvault older content, including the Red War campaign, which introduced Destiny 2's story and many of its key characters. The Leviathan raid, which was widely considered one of the best raids in the game, has also been frequently requested. Bungie's latest filing strongly suggests that these things aren't coming back, not because Bungie doesn't want to, but because it would require a ton of resources to recreate everything from the ground up. I cannot believe what I'm reading right now. Bungie is still pushing for the case to be dismissed, arguing that Martineau's claims don't hold up legally. The studio has pushed back hard against these claims, arguing that Martineau hasn't provided direct evidence that anyone at Bungie even saw his work, let alone copied it. It also argues that most of the alleged similarities are just common sci-fi tropes that aren't protected by copyright, which is actually a really fair case, because we've seen this many times where people try to claim plagiarism, but there's just common sci-fi tropes. Like they're saying, there's countless things that exist in various different sci-fi shows, various different sci-fi movies, whatever it may be. So I think that more than half the claims that Martineau has come up with would fall under that category. Martineau's latest court filings insist that Bungie's legal team is trying to shut down his claims before they can even be properly examined. He argues that the similarities between his work and Destiny 2 are too specific to be a coincidence, and that Bungie should be forced to go through the discovery process, which would likely require the developer to hand over internal documents and communication about Red War's development. Wow, so he's going after the discovery process, so he wants to see that internal deep dive into Bungie's developmental process of the Red War campaign, and he thinks that in the process it would expose their plagiarism, and they are unable to actually provide this. This makes things very, very interesting for his court case. This makes him look good, unfortunately. As much as I think that he didn't have a good case until now he might actually have a good case. Bungie might have to come to an out-of-court settlement with this one. What do you think about this, chat? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. This is a crazy lawsuit. Crazy to have an update. We'll have to give you another update when we see what the verdict is on this, or if Bungie does come to a settlement outside of court. And that's a wrap on this one. Make sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the news in Destiny 2. Smash the like button for me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.